Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, fellow FLoSH members and audience who's ever tuning in. I know I've gotten a lot of feedback. Some significant others have been watching these videos, so we do really appreciate it. Love the support. But happy end of week one. Well, I guess it's not technically over. We do have a big game tonight. But week one, it's in the books. We made it through a long summer. Just look back at this summer, and the only thing that really was missing was football. So I'm really happy it's back. Happy we can have football Sundays together. If you see me looking down at my screen, I have my phone there to make sure I don't wander off. But we're here. FLoSH has started. I know it started last Thursday, but yesterday being the first football Sunday of the weekend, we're here. We're officially back. There are a lot of good things to see this week in terms of football. In terms of fantasy, I feel like it was kind of all over the place. But before we get into it, I just want to highlight my weekend, just in case anyone was wondering. Worked Friday, had some balcony beers Friday night, had work the next day from 8 to 2, then went out to Buffalo, went to the Offer House, which is pretty much a warehouse, kind of like a German hall. Had a lot of beers, woke up that Sunday not feeling 110%. The night got away from me a little bit. Do I wish I could go back and maybe not have a liter of beer or two? Probably. But that's neither here nor there. Made it through a good slate of games that Sunday. And now we're here Monday morning. Really didn't do much this morning. Cleaned up a little bit, brewed myself a cup of coffee, and now we're here. So now just to go over a couple different highlights of the recap. We're going to have a biggest loser, we're going to have a biggest winner, and then the matchup of the week. Those will be announced at the end. Don't know what I'm going to do with these yet, but figure they'll be a good idea to spice things up a little bit. Now, moving down, and my mouse is broken. Baldwin, how'd you end up on my spreadsheet? Baldwin, you're looking good, man. They probably should delete the evidence here too. Let's get rid of that. But yeah, there's Baldwin. Somehow finds his way into every inch of my life, even though I don't want him to. All right, let's get into the recap. I don't want this to be super long. Just some relevant news this week. What's going on at the tight end position? Mark Andrews didn't play. Kelsey didn't play. Darren Waller with a late quad hamstring injury. I don't even know. What's going on there? I think I saw a stat, the number one tight end this week only scored 14 points. I think you're better off having a kicker this week than having a tight end. So I might remove the position next year. I don't know. Really just a bummer week for tight ends. Really low performing. Kyle Pitts did not do anything. Freiermuth got a late injury. It's really just a bad week for tight ends. And then in terms of injuries, got a big loss. J.K. Dobbins, torn Achilles, probably out for another year. Kind of a shame. It's his second year in 3 years of playing where he's out with a season-ending injury. Pretty big implications there on fantasy. Do you roll the dice with another Ravens running back? Do you not? That's up to you. It's up to you. Waiver wires Wednesday. You make that decision. You sleep with that. And then Cooper Kupp going on IR. Crazy stuff. Goes on IR just to get to see a hamstring specialist. Never thought I'd see that. But, a lot of young stars shine that game. What do? Do you take a Ram on the waiver wire going Wednesday? I don't know. I might, but I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do because I want them. But I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. So now we will just go right into the breakdown of our matches here. I tried not to look at any of the scores to make this as much of a surprise as possible. So I'm kind of seeing this for the first time. Obviously, you catch glimpses here and there, but I did make a valiant effort to not look at anyone's scores, so we can have kind of like a surprise reaction to these matchups. So we'll dive right in. We won't start with me. We'll go bottom up, because I just don't feel like talking about my team right now. I'm not in the mental headspace. So we've got with our first matchup of this week one recap, we got Team Gazzoni and then Farm D's Nuts, which is managed by Brian Verbickus out of Vermont. We'll just go right into the matchup here. Hopefully you guys can see this. I don't know why ESPN has this blurred out like this. It really annoyed the crap out of me. I could not figure out what to do to make it better, so I'm going to zoom in and just hope it works. But we got Team Mike Gazzoni. We'll take a quick look here. He's got 81 points with one person to play. And then Brian Verbickus has 83 points with one person to play as well. The projections here, not too bad. Very low scoring affair, which I think is a theme that we'll see across this whole week. Looking at Gazzoni's team, Lamar Jackson, yeah, he shit the bed. He sucks. He's really bad. Lamar Jackson is not good. I own him in one league, and I can feel you're disappointed, Mike Gazzoni. I can feel it. We got Nick Chubb, just doing what Chubb does. Najee Harris, back in 2022 form already. I see Garrett Wilson going. That's a pretty good chance. You got a pretty good chance here. Mike Williams, I think he had a concussion that game, going right back to 2022. This guy is really boom or bust. You really don't know what you're going to get from him. Cole Kmet, disappointing performance from a tight end. Been saying this. Cam Akers, a lot of question marks on this guy. I watched some of that game. Kyron Williams took almost all the snaps. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. Don't really know who's the guy on the Rams. Bucs defense staying true to your Buccaneer fandom. Dirty, I love it. Jake Elliott with a monster game. Told the kickers are just better than tight ends this year. And then your bench. Bench had a really good game. Good stuff, Dirty. Good stuff. Good stuff. Wow. This guy can draft a team. We got Brian Verbickus on the right-hand side, projected to lose. Justin Herbert, watched some of that game, did pretty good. Ramondre Stevenson, staying true to your Patriots fandom. I love that. They played a good game. I was shocked. Was very shocked they kept it that close. Amon Ra just doing what he does. Christian Kirk, you pay all that money for a fringe wide receiver 3. That's what you're going to get. 1.9 points right there. George Kittle, tight ends just stink this year. DeAndre Swift, I was wondering why the hell you would play DeAndre Swift, but made it to your bench, and it kind of makes sense. You really don't have much going for you here, Brian Verbickus. I don't know. I don't know what you do as a manager. Let's just hope the waiver wire is good to you. All right. But, this is a clear-cut game. Ended up being pretty close. I think Dirty Mike's going to end up running away with this one. It's just tough to say that Garrett Wilson will not get more than 2 points and outscore Tyler Bass. So we'll chalk this one up. Dirty, really good game here, bud. You earned it. We'll go right into Need More TP, Tony Pollard. Okay. Zachary Munski versus Davis Lee. This is an ass whooping. Wow. This is not fair. It's not fair. Trevor Lawrence, pretty good game. Tony Pollard just doing what he did last year. He's just continuing that. Aaron Jones with a pop off. That's a very good starting number for Aaron Jones on week 1. Devontae Adams, not bad. Just missed a touchdown. Jacoby Myers had a pop off game there. Keenan Allen, good. Old reliable. Darren Waller had an off game, but so did the New York shitty fucking Giants. 40-0, that's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. Jahan Dotson, pretty good stats there. Jaguars D. J.K. Dobbins, there's the injury we were talking about. What does Munski do here? Does he go to the wire? Does he put in Raheem Mostert? I don't know. Oh, and he's got Jacoby Myers too. Wow. Very, very big game out of the Raiders there. The Raiders receivers. Gus Edwards, he's already got the handcuff. This guy drafted a team knowing that J.K. Dobbins was going to tear something. What that says about him as a person, I don't know. I really don't know, but that's still a good move. And he's got the Jets D for the fandom. Should have started him this week, Zach. You don't have the balls? Scared to put the Jets defense in there? Okay. Now we got Davis Lee on the other side. Really good game from Tua. Josh Jacobs, kind of an unremarkable game. Still pretty good, though. Got James Cook left, but I don't think you are going to eclipse the 50 points out of James Cook that you need. T. Higgins with a fucking goose egg. How about those Bengals, man? Them Bengals. Who dey? They fucking trash. That's who they is. JSN, not even going to try to say that last name. Travis Kelce, opting to play Travis Kelce, even though he was out. I don't know what's going on there, Davis. You got to do better, I think. Maybe pay a little bit more attention, my friend. Marquise Brown, Cameron Dicker, kickers just doing way better than tight ends. I mean, it's there. It's there. Christian Watson was a late scratch. Nico Collins taking over the wide receiving role down there. Yeah, not bad. Davis, you kind of just got host. That's really not good. It's not good. That's a bad week 1 look. Let's go on to our third match. We've got my Diggs Big, who was projected a lot of points. Still is. We'll see what happens here. And then Martin Peace, Burrow McCockiner. With the high of the week, I'm pretty sure. Just quick rundown here. Got Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey. That's already a scary duo to see in fantasy. They still left. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Dalvin Cook. Got Devonta Smith had a good game. Mike Evans showing signs of life again. TJ Hawkinson. I think he was tight end 2 of the week, which is not saying much. He only had 11.5. So Tyler Lockett, he put up a fucking goose egg pretty much. Not a good game from them. Odell Beckham, 5.7. Russell Wilson. First look, Tom, I don't think you're going to end up walking away with the win, but you never know. We got Josh Allen on the team. He can do anything. Kirk Cousins, Jahmyr Gibbs, kind of a disappointing show from Jahmyr Gibbs. Do you sell Martin? Do you put him on waivers? I don't know, man. I don't know how you feel about Jahmyr Gibbs right now. Tyler Alligator, all-time game, and then Tyreek Hill with the fucking wide receiver 1, fantasy player number 1 just a top-tier performance from him. Brandon Ayuk, who's really stepping into that wide receiver 1 role. It's tough to win when you got 2 of your wide receivers going for over 30. That's just tough. Irv Smith, just another trash tight end. George Pickens, the Bengals D. Oh, the Mark Andrews. You got the Mark Andrews bug. And that's a lot of O's and S's here on the bench. And then Sam Howell, not bad. Yeah, I think Martin runs away with this win. I don't see a case where Tom comes back from here. What do we got? 2 matches left? Maybe? 3 matches left. Wow. What happened here? Oh boy. We got Team Skiz, and we got Eat a Bag of Diggs. No one else would come up with a name like this besides fucking Zach Baldwin. No one else would come up with a name like this. All right, back to the game. Deshaun Watson, he had an okay game. Saquon Barkley, that's just back in that Giants just shithole of a fucking Sunday night football game. They should be disgraced. Kenneth Walker, decent game. A.J. Brown, he's coming back, proving he's the wide receiver 1 in that offense. Calvin Ridley, this guy, it's just no surprise that he's still fucking good at football. He took a mental health off. He bet on himself and not in a good way. Got suspended for another year. You would think he would maybe slow down a little bit, but there's no slowing down. The guy's just back. He's back, fully back. Dalton Kincaid, hopefully he gives us some hope in the tight end position this week. Hopefully he shows up. Debo, Dolphins D, Terry McLaurin, and Njoku. Just another tight end. They just suck this week. I don't know what happened. Chigozium Nkonkwo, just wanted to say that name. And then we look at Zach Baldwin's dynamite roster. The guy who's done 100 mocks, showing up to week 1. Daniel Jones, man. Quite the game. Quite the game out of Daniel Jones. Derrick Henry, not bad. Alexander Madison, not bad. You still have Diggs left. I just don't think Diggs is going to put up 45 plus. He might. Who knows? But you're really banking on him here. Amari Cooper, he did have an off game. Tyler Higbee, another tight end, just didn't do well. Drake London put up a goose egg. Didn't even bother watching that game. They didn't throw the fucking ball. I had him in one of my leagues. I don't know what to do with him. It's not fun to own him. The Eagles defense, they had a decent game. Dameon Pierce. Pittman, you left 23 points on the bench there. Baldwin still would help you out a little bit. Would have gave you a chance. Sam Laporte, kind of a pretty good game for them. Treylon Burks, no, not really anything remarkable to talk about here. Go Diggs. But yeah, that's Zach Baldwin. Not looking good. Week 1. Not looking good. Do you hit the panic button? Do you hit the panic button? I don't know. I don't know. What do we got here now? Just Brick Chasin, Simone Lebecki, and then the Washington football team, Mike Strumpler, staying true to his name. He's been with that name with, I believe, the last 3 years. It's impressive. Very close matchup here, though. Very close. It's still not done. Simone still has one play left. Mike Strumpler's done. I mean, to say there's a 0% chance is incorrect. There's actually an 11% chance, according to ESPN. But I just don't see the Bills' defense putting anything left. I don't think they put up -5 points. I just don't. Quick rundown on the lineup. Mahomes, okay week without his best weapon. I don't think you panic on him. He's still showing he's good. Travis Etienne with a really good... He's putting up RB1 numbers. It's very good. It's a very good game. You don't really need to ask for more. James Conner putting up a decent RB2 number in a very bad offense on a very bad team. That's not bad. Jamar Chase, Goose Egg, Houday, I don't know anymore. I don't know who they are anymore. I really don't know. Deontay Johnson, 7.8. Freiermuth, tight end performance. That's across the board. Cortland Sutton, not a bad game from the flex. Gabe Davis, we'll see. Romeo Doubs had a huge game. 2 touchdowns. Does this continue when Watson's back? We'll see. Stafford, I actually thought wow. Not bad. Not bad for Matt Stafford. I know the fantasy points aren't there, but that's a lot of yards. It's a lot of yards. Chase Claypool, Bijan Robinson, Joe Burrow. I don't think I need a comment on this anymore. I think I'm done. I think I'm done with that. Bijan Robinson, pretty good game. I mean, really good game. Those are the numbers you want to see from a first-round pick. Rashad White, CeeDee Lamb didn't really have to do anything this game. The Giants kind of threw it themselves. DK Metcalf, not a bad game, but I think it was a bad game for the Seahawks altogether. 13.7, that's still not bad, though. Miles Sanders, 11.8. Costly fumble there. Brian Robinson had a decent game. I think he's winning that job over there in Washington. Yeah, nothing else. Just really banking on Jonathan Taylor here. Maybe he goes the Ravens. We'll see. But yeah, I think Simone, I don't see a case where you really lose here. Who knows what can happen? Yeah, I think Simone's got this one locked up. And then we've got our last matchup of the day. I just want to make sure this is still recording. Are we still recording here? We are. All right. All right, it was me against Christian, the Justy Jeffersons versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to try to wrap things up here. I didn't realize how long this is running. Justin Fields, mediocre game. I mean, this is only because he was able to run. It actually was a very bad game by the Bears. Joe Mixon, told you I'm not going to talk about how bad the fucking Bengals played. Not going to talk about how trash they were. David Montgomery showing he might be the guy there in Detroit. Justin Jefferson continuing where he left off last season. Those are very good numbers. Olave, very good game. Started off slow. Kyle Pitts, I don't know why I do this to myself every year with Kyle. Chris Godwin, showing he might be the safety valve there for Baker. Not a bad game. Cowboys defense, I think they're the player of the game, player of the week. I knew they were good. I didn't think this was going to be the result. 35 points, that's insane. That's the third highest points this week as a defense. That's insane. I think that's a historic number. I didn't look into it, but Zay Flowers had a big game showing he's the wide receiver one there. At least when Mark Andrews out. But that's very good, very promising. Kyron Williams taking over there. But not a bad effort from Christian. I will say there was a point where I thought I was toast. I think so. Jalen Hurts had an off game. Eckler was tearing it up. He really slowed down in the second half there. I think the whole Chargers offense slowed down and they were giving away touchdowns to I'm blanking out on his name. But it was Eckler could have easily popped for 40 points here. Jalen Waddle had an off game. DeAndre Hopkins, not a bad return, but the Dallas Goedert goose egg is what kills you. That kills you there. You can't have a positional player putting up 0 points, especially someone as talented as Dallas Goedert. That's insane. Then Graham Gano, I mean, that's the story of the Giants. -2 points. Couldn't even fucking kick a field goal. AJ Dillon, Sky Moore, Zay Jones. There was a point, though, where Christian was going to win this game pretty clear out, but then this happened. That's just fantasy, though. That's fantasy. So we'll just go through a really quick. We'll give our biggest winner. We'll do the biggest loser. It's gonna have to be Zach Baldwin. I mean, you can't put 60 points on the board. You can't do that. I know you have Diggs still left to play, but like you're still projected 76 in a 12 team. That's gonna give you the biggest loser award. Biggest winner here. We'll just go nice and obvious. It was Martin. You can't win. When Tyreek Hill's putting up 45 points, and Brandon Ayuk are putting up 32, and Tyler Algier are putting up 24, you're not going to get the job done. You are not winning. Really nothing against you, Tom. That's still a really good match on your end. You just ran into a buzzsaw at the wrong time. Good job, Martin. And then our matchup of the week. This one's tough. It's really not easy. Oh, just doing a quick look here. See, I would have made this, but I think Gazzoni ends up blowing it out here. In terms of projections, we're gonna give it to the Washington football team and the Simone matchup. What was this matchup again? Jesus Christ. Just kind of a bad week for this. Oh, the Bills defense. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Why would I do that? I don't know. I don't even know if we do one here. Maybe this one? This is probably the closest one. They both have one to play. Yeah, we'll give it up to Gazzoni. We'll give it up to Gazzoni and Brian Verbickus. This was the closest match this week. I don't know what can happen today. Like, honestly, there could be a chance that Garrett Wilson puts up 0. There could be a chance Tyler Bass pops off. Who knows? This Jets defense is pretty good. Maybe they just hold him to field goals, so anything's possible. This will be our matchup of the week. We got Gazzoni versus Verbickus. All right, so that's gonna end my recap in terms of who's playing everything. Yeah, we got our big loser here, Baldwin. What can you do? I mean, you go out there, you try your best, and you just didn't do it. We got our biggest winner at Martin Peace, and then the matchup of the week, Gazzoni versus Brian Verbickus. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I know it's kind of long. I want to figure out a way to cut this down. I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out for you guys. In terms of tonight's game, not many fantasy implications. No one's really close enough. I feel like week 1 has kind of just been a low-scoring affair across the board. I think in almost all my leagues. I haven't really seen many people pop this week. Yeah, we got a big game today. We'll see who the Bills are this year, and we'll also see who the Jets are this year. Maybe they go out like the Giants. They come out, all this hype, and they get squashed. But maybe the Jets are for real. This is going to be a good game for both teams to see where they stand. The AFC East is absolutely packed. So I'm just really hoping for a good game. The first Sunday night game was terrible. God, really wish I did not watch it. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on. Just before I end this, do not hesitate to hit the subscribe button. My YouTube is linked right above. Hit subscribe. And why don't you comment what you guys did this weekend? As dudes, we don't really talk about this stuff a lot. So why don't you just comment down below. What'd you do this weekend? Don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends. And yeah, we'll see you next week for week 2. Hopefully this wasn't too long. Hopefully I didn't put any of you to sleep. But yeah, that's it. That'll do it, boys. Have a good night. Go Bills. Let's do it.
Make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head